Good evening. Welcome. It's Wednesday night over here on the bay in Bristol, and I didn't see too much happening on YouTube, so I said, the other night we talked about Ken Norton, and it was really cool because bro, that fucking vid got like 1,100 views as of today, and it kind of blew my mind. I'm saying 1,100 views. I mean, what did some college professor see that and say, I want all my students to watch that? We're gonna have a quiz on it tomorrow. But anyway, man, thank you so much for everybody that viewed that video, man. It was a tribute to one of the heavyweights of yesteryear. This is the kind of boxing that I was weaned on, man. And one of those guys that we talked about a little bit on Sunday, an opponent that Ken Norton had, that was Irish Jerry Quarry. And I don't know if any of you cats ever saw Jerry Quarry, but man, that's the kind of the guy that got me into boxing. I'll explain it in a little bit. Let me see who came in here tonight. We got a few people here, man. I'm glad we got some lonely hearts out there. Mr. Pads, my brother, always showing love here, always showing love. And my man Mad Chad over there, bro. My man Mad Chad. Fuck, man, Mad Chad. I wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for Mad Chad. Salute, my brother. The Iceman. My man, the Iceman. And you know the Toker 2's here, Iceman. You know that. Carlos Mendocilla. How are you, my brother? Carlos, salute. Andrew Charles. Peace, my brother. The opulent LD. Yeah, brother. Thank you for coming in here, man. Oscar Prince, brother. Thanks, bro. Thanks for stopping in, man. Excuse me for a second. I'm weaning myself off a cold I had the last few days. I don't even know if it's a cold or if it's allergies. Everybody says that. Watch out for allergies these days, man. Oscar Prince, my bra. Good to see you here, man. Good to see you here. I'm going to talk about a cat named Jerry Cooney, bro. Irish Jerry Cooney, the greatest of the great white hopes. That's what happens when usually when a white Irish guy gets real tough, gets real good, and fucking Jerry Quarry, he was real tough and real good. That I think the only thing he didn't win was the heavyweight championship of the world. Let me get my Toker 2 going here, man. Get me right here, 'cause I took about these things, man. I wish I had the technology and the equipment to get these fights in place and put on a better production for all you characters and myself too, because I used to be in broadcast television and radio production way back in the 70s, and I kind of got the bug for it since I've been going on YouTube here. It's cool when it's a casual kickback evening, nothing's happening, and all I've been hearing today is Cambosa and Devin Haney, and I just get sick of hearing about it, man. Excuse me here, Toker 2 in action over here, baby. How sweet it is. First one of the day. Wink, wink. I don't know if you can see that with my glasses on, but I re-upped again myself today. Highly unusual for a character like me to do, but anyway, man. I got this one here, this one strand here. It's called Diesel, not sour diesel, just plain old diesel. See if that. You know what I found out today? How we can get these tuned in better when you put your hand behind them when you're showing them off online here. Put your hand behind that and focus it. There you go. See how the focus kicks in there? You can see the nice red hairs. I've been picking at that for a little while, so it's not going to be as nice as it used to be in its pristine state. But anyway, here, Ryan Garcia said about Haney. No, we didn't hear that, Iceman, bro. Cue to God. Salute, my brother. Q to God, he was up here with me the other day when we did the Ken Norton thing. It was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun to pay respect to these boxers, because the thing about them is, people say, yeah, you're historian, bro. I honor that word, but I'm not a historian, man. I'm a guy like everybody out there, even to a lesser degree. So you guys are really, really key on boxing, man. You guys know it from the inside out. You're going and you're getting these backroom sources and all this information that wasn't available in my day. See, I just remember these fights. There's this certain era, man. Maybe from I don't know, from the early '70s till probably the mid '80s. I just have a good memory for that era, because that's when I was kicking around. I had plenty of dough in my pocket. I didn't give a fuck about anything, man. I had what I needed. Tomorrow, that didn't exist. It was today. And maybe that's because that's what put me in the situation I'm in today. Yeah, Ron Lyle, another great boxer, and Jerry Quarry here, bro. He made Ron Lyle look like a fool when they fought. He outboxed, and Ron Lyle was I think he was undefeated, man. He was coming up there. One thing about Jerry Quarry, he didn't back off from anybody. He took some gave some tremendous punches, took some tremendous punches. Sad ending to his career. But the last time I saw Jerry Quarry, let me do another hit on this Toker too, man. I'm digging this jazz in the background, and just a lot of gratitude for seeing people like this stopping here when I go live, and very inspirational, man. Very inspirational. And being a card-carrying marijuana patient from the state of Rhode Island, I'm sure I have that around here somewhere. Yeah, I always do, man. I always keep it within reach in case my doors get busted down. Hey, Bruce goes. Patient number 1124124 expires this year, so I'm gonna have to re-up that sucker. That's a fee I don't like to pay. In fact, the whole reefer thing right now, it's getting crazy. I was gonna do something on that today. I always want to do something on that, but I'm watching the dispensaries in Seattle get fucking get robbed at gunpoint. Those operations, man. They don't take credit cards because marijuana is considered a class 1 narcotic, which is illegal by the United States government. The states have their own laws, but the United States government, which controls the interstate commerce, you can't use a credit card at the compassion centers in Rhode Island. It's the compassion centers, but everywhere else it's just the fucking weed shops. And I'll definitely drop a link, Q. I'll definitely drop a link, my brother. Excuse me for a second here. Let me get the head right over here, my brother. That's what I gotta do before I come on. Before I even start anything. And in fact, the head is right. I've been smoking since 11 o'clock this morning. I had to go out in 10 and cop the stuff, and I came back, man. Beautiful shit, bro. Beautiful shit. Real. And you know what I like about it too? It's new, because with me, it doesn't really matter. High grade reefer, I love high grade reefer and all the different strains. That's what I like too. But I like the variation. I like the taste. The buzz is going to be there. That's a given. But you get the different strains, and they have different psycho additives, and different the THCs. They have different cannabinoids, and it's a different high. You get the indica blends, the sativa blends. This right here is a 70-30 is what it says on Weed Times, or wherever I go read it. They got some great stuff on here. You get a strain, you can look it up, and I'm going to show you this is the first time I saw the last time I saw Jerry Quarry. I'm going to take my specs off to see the screen over here, the small screen. But this was I was watching boxing at the Forum at the at the Inglewood Forum. They used to have that on cable back in the day. They don't anymore, but it was a great thing, man. And I was watching one of the fights from the Forum, and they had Jerry Quarry singing the national anthem. And Jerry Quarry, he died very young. He was only 55 years old. You know, kind of a sad thing. Jab Jamboree, salute my brother, salute my brother. Jose Welts, bro, thanks for coming in, man. Thank you so much, man. We're talking about Jerry Quarry on here, man. And this, like I said, this is the last time I saw Jerry Quarry. Let's check that out.
1960s and 70s. He fought Muhammad Ali twice, plus Joe Frazier and Kenny Norton. And he held wins over Ernie Shavers, Ron Lyle, and Floyd Patterson. He carved out a 53-9-4 record and did everything but win a world title. Well, he did plenty of belting in the ring, but on June 17, 1986, at the Great Western Forum in Inglewood, California, he belted out the national anthem. Let's revisit that moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our main event, at this time, I'd like to ask you to rise for the singing of our national anthem. And joining us in the ring, we have a special guest to lead us. He is the former top-ranked heavyweight contender who fought them all. He's known as the greatest of the Great White Hopes. How about a hand for our vocalist this evening, Irish Jerry Quarry.
Absolutely, Ak. I will definitely email you, bro.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much to Irish Jerry Quarry.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, man, but when I saw that, man, I had a lump in my throat, and after that, I didn't see much of Jerry Quarry. I really didn't pay much attention to him. He was 50 years old, and really tragic life, tragic ending. And Jerry Quarry was just he was a tough guy, like who was that just there? Al Bernstein. Like he said, man, he was the only guy that fought Muhammad Ali, and he fought Joe Frazier twice, and he fought Floyd Patterson twice. And man, his record is unbelievable, man. Let's take a look at some of his one of his fights here, and we can go back and look at. We can talk a little bit about him, a little bit about Jerry Quarry. The first time I saw him box, it was a pretty funky time here, man. It was a Friday night back in let's see, when was that fight? I think it was in 1970, and I had just gotten home, And I wasn't a boxing fan. It was early Friday night. I was only a kid. I was only maybe 15 or so. And Quarry was definitely around forever, Phil. You know that, man. And if anybody wants to come, I just dropped the link out there. I'll do it again, man. If anybody wants to stop in, and if anybody has any memories of Jerry Quarry they want to share, bro. We could it's cue the gods over there, man. My friend cue the gods. Salute my brother. Here you go.
What's good with you, Brucey G?
Not a lot, my man. Not a lot. Just digging on some Jerry Quarry over here. I'm relating to some of the stuff that I saw about the brother, man. He was a great guy. He was the only fighter. The records that he fought in the era that he fought in, the heavyweight era, was stacked back then. It was fucking loaded, man. Let me see if I can find this. I want to find this fight this is the fight that got me into boxing, man. See if I can dig it up here.
Well, Jerry Quarry is one of the fighters who got you into boxing, or that you.
Well, it was actually this fight that I saw. I'm sure I can. Let me see if I can find it over here. It was Jerry Quarry and George Chuvalo.
Yeah, I never see Jerry Quarry. I never really like all the fights that I seen him in. He wasn't like the guy I was looking to watch. Like when I go back and I watch him and went to watch him, like watch him fight Ron Lyle, I was really looking at Ron Lyle and looking at Muhammad Ali or looking at Ernie Shavers. But I done seen him fight so many people. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, his resume is.
He beat them all, but the best, bro. Yeah. That was the thing about freaking about Jerry Quarry, and he started fighting as a kid. His father got him into boxing when he wasn't even 10 years old. He had boxing gloves on, and he was taking punches.
Yeah, like
let me dig this fight up here, man. Like I said, I came home on a Friday night, and I wasn't even a big boxing fan, bro. I was more of a professional wrestling fan, but it was on. I think my mom was watching it. It was like the Friday night. It might have even been the Gillette fights. I don't know. I was so young and I wasn't there for the fight. I was coming home and this fight just happened to be on. And there was so much action in this fight. These guys, they used to George Chuvalo, the granite chin. I don't think the guy was ever off his feet in 100 fights. And Jerry Quarry, he was the favorite. He was the favorite fighter. And look, that's Emo Griffith right there in the ring. You've got, I think Ali's there, Joe Frazier's there. Back then they'd have all these great fighters, and they came to the fights. They introduced them in the ring. They came in there, and it wasn't like they panned through the audience and they were sitting there. They had a nice ceremony in the beginning. They introduced them, told their records, and you'll see guys like at this time they'll bring guys like Willie Pep out of the audience, Sugar Ray Robinson, people like that who are still alive. But anyway, man, this fight, it was a rock'em sock'em robot. No science in here. No finesse. Just a fight where two guys were just kicking the living shit out of each other for quite a few rounds. Speed it up a little bit. But as you can see, man, you've got Irish Jerry Quarry in the green trunks. You've got George Chuvalo. George Chuvalo is another one who fought everybody in that era. George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali. Everybody in that era. And once again, he didn't win a world title. Jerry Quarry, if Jerry Quarry was fighting today, he would be a cruiserweight champion or bridgerweight. He was just a small heavyweight, tough as nails, but he just fought in that era where the killers were there. And he beat some of those killers too. It's not like he was a victim in all the fights. He was a tough guy, but he had the white man's disease, bro. He had thin skin. He cut. What got me about this fight was the ending, the way it ended. You know, it was interesting to watching like Quarry. He was piecing up George Chuvalo. He was the better boxer, but Chuvalo, he could take a punch. He was like a sponge. His chin was impregnable, as Mike Tyson would say.
Yeah, I see him. He got like thicker body, bigger arms. He look way thicker. His back and stuff. His body.
Oh yeah, he's a little bull. Probably about 200 pounds, maybe 5'9", 5'10", and just like a Canadian. He's a hockey player. You know, you put a mask and put a stick in his hand, nobody's going to beat him in that ring. But unfortunately, he fought in the era of Ali, in the era of Jimmy Young, in the era of Floyd Patterson. And man, you know, you had to be something special just to hang with those guys. Never mind beat them.
Yeah. Golden Fava Beans, what's up, man? Salute,
Fava Beans. He put out a couple of interesting videos today.
You got boxing?
What's that, Q?
So you got a boxing channel?
He's got a comedy channel. You know who that is? That's Pigeon, bro.
That's Pigeon.
The internet legend himself.
Silence of the Lambs.
Nobody's more infamous on YouTube than Pigeon, bro. And when he's polite, when he wants to speak boxing, he's right up there with the best of them. It's only when he got to the pub a little bit too much, but I think he's behaving himself today. I got Carlos Mendoza keeping him in check out there. But man, you know, the Jerry Quarry took so many punches. By the time he was 50 years old, he had to be told to how to tie his shoes. He had to be taught how to eat almost every day. He had such severe pugilistic dementia, they call it. You know, today it's called CTE. It's not even, you can't even really diagnose it until the body's dead and they do an autopsy. But I mean, the human head is just not made for beatings like that. Tony Boswell, salute my brother, salute, bro. Yeah, hit that like button. I appreciate that, Tony. I often forget that, and you know, like that I see my videos with 200, 300 views, 25 likes. Come on, give the kid a break, man.
Yeah, you gotta
shoot me one of these.
Yeah, you gotta shoot the lights, man. Bruce Goals is like that mom and pop store that got all that good shit. You know, you might have to blow off a little dust, you know, but hey, it's gems, all gems in there. You know what I mean? You know, you got the big channels, they get all the likes, but man, you got to support these small channels.
Man. It doesn't mean anything to me, bro. You know, I'm just happy that we get a half dozen people in here or so. I got the good weed. I got my brothers in the house with me, man. But we're looking at some classic boxing, and you know, I remember this fight, bro. I saw this fight live on television back in, dude, I'm pretty sure it was 1970, and you know, I haven't forgotten it till this day. And shit, what was 1970? Fucking 50 years ago. Dude.
That shit crazy. See, some people would think that should be like, what, like 30 years ago, huh? That shit, we like 50 fucking years ago.
Old as your grandfather, you know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, this is
Yep.
And this was at Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing. This was the Madison Square Garden was if you fought and you didn't fight in Madison Square Garden, then you weren't considered an elite boxer. Every one of them fought Madison Square Garden. That was hallowed ground, man. That was going into the Winchester.
When did the 70s become like the spot for boxing? Around what time?
I don't know, bro. The 60s and the 70s, it was a different era. Like, these guys just fought all the time. Every month and a half, every 2 months. Jerry Quarry, he fought to a draw with Floyd Patterson. and 5-6 months later, he's fighting him again. In the meantime, he's already had 2 or 3 fights, but he's fighting his rematch with him. And this was when Muhammad Ali was stripped of his title. So the WBA set up a tournament, and it was Dad Spencer, Floyd Patterson, who else was in there? Quarry, and one more boxer. I can't remember the other boxer. But anyway, in the finals, it was the rematch with Jimmy Ellis. That's who it was, Jimmy Ellis. And Jerry Quarry, he lost to Jimmy Ellis in the finals. He beat Floyd Patterson in the first round, and he lost to Jimmy Ellis in the finals. Lost by 1 point. And that's how close he came to being the heavyweight champion of the world. He just never, what they say, always never the bride, always the bridesmaid. And that was his career tied up right there. That was his career in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But fight, and I mean, look at these guys just banging each other. No defense.
Jerry got a little bit of the edge of the defense.
Oh yeah, Jerry. Like I said, man, Jerry was boxing since he was 6 years old. His dad made him box. His dad cried when he saw what happened to Jerry when he was 50 years old because of all the punishment he took. His whole family, man, everybody except I think his brother James, who took care of him, but his brother Mike Quarry, who fought, he fought Bob Foster, got annihilated with a left hook from hell. And this was before.
Man, you see his face, Jerry Quarry got his face looking fucking crazy.
Oh yeah. Both of their faces. I wish it was in a higher resolution, but unfortunately, 1970. Look at George Foreman. Both of these guys.
See his fucking shit out here, dog. Look, you see the swelling from the fucking back. That shit. Crazy.
Yeah, this is probably I'm gonna go out on a limb and say at the time, look at that. Probably the number 7 and against the number 5 heavyweight in the world. So they were both top teners.
Man, look like he been in a damn car wreck.
Yeah, there we go, man. We're starting. I think we're getting ready for the 9th round here.
Back then, them cut men had to earn their goddamn money.
Oh, especially with fighters like this. These guys. And you made sure you had that end swell in that bucket over there, man. This wasn't like Mike Tyson in Tokyo, with the 3 Stooges in his fucking corner. Yeah, these guys were right on. These guys knew what they were doing, bro. But see, Jerry Quarry, he looked like he's coasting to a real comfortable victory over here. He looked like he was having, I'm not going to say no problem, but it was a rock'em sock'em robot thing. Almost like a Joe Joyce and freaking Christian Hammer going at it, And Quarry is just he's using that jab, pecking him from the outside, busting up George Chuvalo. Like I said, a veteran of 100 fights. I don't think he ever went off his feet. Never mind, got knocked out. I mean, he just had probably the hardest chin in the history of boxing. The Tex Cobb was like George Chuvalo. And Jerry Quarry, very polished. He was a decorated amateur, won all kind of Golden Gloves titles. He turned pro rather than go in the Olympics, but he had a successful pro career too until I can't remember the cat's name, but he fought this one guy to a draw. Then he came on, fought him again to another draw, and it was like his he couldn't get by this guy. Couldn't get by him, but Still got to the highest pedestals. Who else we got? Who we got back here? Is that my brother Unrivaled Boxing in here, man? Damn.
Yeah.
Past over here. I got fucking.
Can you hear me?
Jerry Cooney and Unrivaled Boxing. Salute, brother.
How's it going? Is this Cooney or Quarry?
Jerry Quarry. Did I say Cooney, man? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerry Quarry. Is this the Chuvalo fight, 69?
Yeah, baby. The battle of the the Chin versus the fucking the crude, awkward slugger over here.
Oh,
But
this is a violent fight,
oh,
man.
bro,
This is
people don't realize
violent.
the chin that George Chuvalo had. Tell them about fucking George Chuvalo a little bit, bro.
Well, Chevalo, he never got actually like knocked out in a fight. The referees had to kind of pull him out. His chin was made of steel. How many times was he dropped in his whole career again,
I
Bruce?
don't think he was ever dropped, bro.
It's either yeah. It's quite. There's a fight where some people will argue he got dropped, I think, but it wasn't ruled a drop. So slip, I can't remember which one that is. It's early in his career, so 0 times officially dropped. Man was made of steel, but people kind of like will just say, "Oh, he was just a slugger, and that's all he had was a great chin." But he was actually a good body puncher with a very fucking dangerous left hook himself. His left hook could take people out at the right moments. So I look at George Chuvalo as one of the best gatekeeper contenders in heavyweight history. He was never good enough to be a champion, but he was good enough to beat a lot of contenders himself.
Oh
He
yeah,
really was. And I think this is 1969, right? So the year leading into this fight, George Chuvalo was ranked the number 4 heavyweight in the world by Ring Magazine at the end of 1968, if I recall correctly. And I think Quarry was number 6. So,
oh yeah. This was not Chop Liver's fight. This was two top 10 contenders, fringe contenders, man. This was a like I said, bro. I was a kid. I'd come home early on a Friday night from work. You know, I was washing dishes. I smelled like fish and chips. I saw this fight on, and I caught the end of it, man. I caught the middle, interesting
oof.
me, and I thought Jerry Quarry. I knew Jerry Quarry. I'd seen him fight before. I wasn't like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the sport. I was only a kid, but man, this fight just made me say, "Wow, look at these guys! They're really punching each other."
It's brutal. And like the thing for me with Chuvalo, right, is some people thought he would just outlast his opponents, but look at Quarry's face. This isn't about outlasting. He's punching him up in there too.
Mm.
Hell of a lot of leather on those shots from both. And to be fair to George, he's very clever with that use of his head, isn't he? Not in terms of defense, but offense. See it there? See him
Oh yeah,
leading with the head now that they're
oh
in
yeah.
the pocket. Look at the heads. Look at the heads. Oh, proper old school scrapping. Proper old school scrapping. You know, Chuvalo to me is probably one of the most underrated heavyweights of all time, Bruce. If I'm being honest with you.
Well, his personal life is like a Shakespearean tragedy. I mean, bro,
Talk
two
to us.
kids.
Talk to us about his personal life.
His two sons were both shot for robbing drugstores, overdosed on heroin. It was, I mean, the guy's buried most of his family, and it's just a tragic, one after another. You know, break your heart the way that his personal life went. But in the ring, man, like you said, he fought everybody in that era. And the reason he was only ranked number 4 is because who was ahead of him? Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman.
Yeah,
So this man was a
sounds about
gatekeeper
right.
who, I mean, he kept his fucking hand on that gate, bro. Nobody's getting through there easily.
Oh hell no, hell no. And I mean, like, it may not mean anything to those who are like uninitiated, right, Bruce? But like, he holds a victory over Doug Jones. And
Mm-hmm.
to those who are initiated, they know how good Doug Jones was. Him and a young prime at the time, Cassius, who at the time, but Muhammad Ali, a young, on his way up, had a fight
Oh,
of the year. There it is.
and he goes down, gets up, takes a knee, and he's looking at his corner instead of looking at the referee. Nope, the fight is over. Look at this, and man, Jerry Quarry does not like this. His corner does not like this. I mean, this was when I said, "Whoa." I said, this is an extraordinary sport. There was a mini riot in Madison Square Garden night. I don't think they show it on here, but it was real. And like I stated earlier, I come from the world of professional wrestling as a young boy here, preteen. And when I saw this, I said, "Man, I'm going to start watching boxing from now on." I think the next day, Wide World of Sports was on. Might have been a Carlos Monzon fight or something like that, and kind of all of a sudden it just kind of galvanized me to the world of boxing. But this was a nice fight to share here, man. And let's see here. What's another cool one that I have in the in my annals over here that I wanted to talk about a little bit. I mean, these were some great quarry fights. This one right here, I think everybody's going to remember this fight, man. This was another fight that Jerry Quarry wasn't expected to win. You know, most of his fights were like that. He shocked a lot of people, bro.
I'm wondering which one it is. I'm wondering which one.
There you go. Mark,
Yeah,
lead us into this fight a little bit with your quasi expertise here, my brother.
quasi expertise. That's a nice way of saying he knows fuck all. Going into the 73 fight, Quarry going through the 70s, he had fought against Ali twice. He lost to Ali twice. He fought again. He got a stoppage. What? What, Bruce?
No, I said twice. Not once, twice. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, bro.
He fought against him twice. He lost in 70 and then he lost in 72 to him. In 71, he had a bit of a comeback year coming off of that loss. He had a knockout victory over a very good British fighter in which Pigeon, who's in your chat, will be very well acquainted with, which is Jack Bodell. He knocked Jack Bodell out in the first round and he beat notable contender Larry Middleton. Ali stopped him. And then a fight in which he wasn't expected to win at all. He outpointed at the time, and in my opinion, the best win in his entire record, unbeaten Ron Lyle.
I was going to show that fight.
Fuck. Don't get me to lead into it, man. I'm going to.
That's all right. We can still show it because anybody who knows anything about boxing, it's the outcome is anticlimactic, but the sauce of these great stews over here is what we're going to be digging on. Go ahead, let's tell us a little bit more about this fight, my brother.
Well, as you pointed out, he wasn't expected to win, and I don't think he was expected to win in the fashion he did. We'll leave it at that. Shavers at the time had only lost twice in his whole career, and it was quite a while since he lost his last fight. I think it had been 3 years. And he was seen by many people to be the biggest puncher that we've ever seen in boxing. They were terrified. He seemed like a man renewed and rejuvenated. But also at the same point, some people didn't know if he was as great as his record was making out to be. People had doubts on his win over Jimmy Young, on how great Jimmy Young was, because he was quite a novice at the time with 10 fights and 3 losses. Or they were like, how good is Jimmy Ellis at this stage of his career? So they didn't know what type of prospect they had on their hands with Ernie Shavers, and this Jerry Quarry fight was meant to tell them. And
here we go from the Mecca of boxing once again here, bro. Madison Square Garden, December 14th, 1973. Irish Jerry Quarry. Decked out in the shamrocks over there. Gil Clancy is his trainer, too.
man, this is a bad man
And
moment
look
to
who's
be
behind
having.
him.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
Only in America. Only in America.
man, anybody who wants a what do they call it? A Snapchat, a snap pic right here, Don King with his hands on the shoulders of Ernie Shavers, where his hands would soon be in the pockets of Ernie Shavers.
Now, just remember,
Richie Jacketti,
folks.
bro. Remember Richie Jacketti?
Hmm.
Bro, look at him. He's a young man. Everybody's young over here. Shit, Ernie Shavers has still got a fucking full head of, well,
That's
almost a
what I
full head
was about to say, Bruce. Like, don't let this be your if this is your introduction to Ernie Shavers. Look away, look away, because don't watch Ernie Shavers while he had hair. Only watch him when he's bald. That's a different Ernie Shavers.
Oh, it's almost like him and Marvin Hagler at the same time said, we're shaving our heads.
Do you know what I always called Ernie Shavers? I called him the reverse Samson. It's like when he lost his hair, when he got rid of his hair, he gained all of his power. Do you know what I
You
mean?
know, you know what Ali called him?
What's that?
The Acorn.
Mm. Why the fuck did he call him the acorn? I never really
The
fully
head, bro.
understood.
The freaking smooth head, the brown smooth. Says it's like an acorn at me. But yeah, man, Ernie Shavers. I mean, he didn't. I don't think he peaked right here. He was kind of put in his place by the veteran, the guy who never accepted retirement. He just kept taking fights. And man, we'll talk a little bit about his later on in his career too. It's fucking tragic, man. I'm glad I'm real stoned, or else I'd probably cry a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm open ears because this is more your era than mine. Like you'll know little pieces of info that I wouldn't be able to have gotten my hands on in recent years.
Well, this is all from memory, bro. It really is, man. This fight, I remember Shavers was supposedly the Dark Destroyer. He was coming in town to knock people out, and Jerry Quarry. Everybody was always behind Jerry Quarry because he was that lingering white hope. He was just always there, and he'd pull a rabbit out of the hat every few years, bro. So you could never count out Jerry Quarry. And right here, man, Don King only in America. Uh, this kind of put a little clink in Don King's smooth running machine here. Ernie Shavers was, I think that was Don King's first heavyweight, bro. He had
Really?
Don King's set to win the World Heavyweight Championship, and he was going to be the
He probably had a lot of faith in him too when he seen how hard he punched.
mm, one of his homeboys from Cleveland too. So he kept his eye on Ernie Shavers, throughout his career. He knew what he had there. But it's funny, as soon as he saw the flaws in Shavers, he threw him right to the sharks. Don King had about as much loyalty as the YouTube boxing community has. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Absolutely, man. I just want to say I'm sorry to Pigeon in the chat. I've got him going all emotional because I mentioned Jack Bodell. I love the music in the background, Bruce.
Right now that's I picked that up off one of these crazy YouTube channels that just plays this shit all day long, and it's just elevated music, and I never get flagged for it. So instead of putting that standard stuff they give you on StreamYard, which I'm gonna pull out my remaining hairs if I fucking listen to that shit anymore. Dun, 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 dun. And then you got
Is
the
it
rock.
officially? Is the channel name officially Bruce Gasbox and Jazz and More?
Yeah, baby.
So it's no longer Bruce Goes.
No, Bruce Goes is retired. But people still call me that. And I kind of almost look at that like I do my brother Curtis Anderson up there. You call him Kurt Sugar or you call him Kurt Anderson. He's going to come running either way, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Rest in peace, Curtis. Man, they're taking a long time to get this fight started.
Yes, they are. Madison Square Garden. I'm sure they had all the introductions earlier too. We didn't catch those, but I mean that's when they used to bring out New York's finest. Everybody, every retired champion from frickin' Sugar Ray Robinson to Emil Griffith and Dick Sadler. I mean they just bring them all out. Sandy Sadler rather. I like the hat that Richie Gicchetti's got on up there. He looks like a rosterman that's about 20 years ahead of his time.
You know, they don't make fights like these anymore, man. Like something this fight was just so unpredictable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Bruce. Like I'm not gonna tell anybody, spoil anything. Like,
but see,
this
I
is
think
not what you
Jerry
expect.
Quarry was definitely brought in here to lose.
He was, and like you did mention that he wins, but like it's crazy. You know what I mean? Because I know you know. I know
You know, I know that you know that I know.
Nobody. Yeah, you would have won a lot of money if you had a bet on that.
Oh, baby.
Exact. If you bet on that exact thing, you would have won a lot of money.
Man, if you just knew Jerry Quarry in a time capsule and bet on his whole career, you could make a lot of money.
See the left hook right off the bat.
Oh,
jeez.
No feeling out process in this round. Ernie Shavers didn't know how to have a feeling out process, bro.
And whenever he tried to, it just looked really wrong.
And what? Oh. And what happens here, he did to so many people himself in the first round. Is that Arthur McCanty refereeing?
I can't really see him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
My favorite referee of all time, bro.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Huh. Oof.
Oh yeah, Jerry Quarry, man.
Quarry's nuts, man. He took those big, massive flush shots, and then he's just like, you know what, fuck it, let's go for it. Oh my god! He's landed a left hook, the uppercut. Oh shit!
Yeah, Ernie's used to them going down when he taps him. He's not used to somebody coming back like this, and that's the end.
Oh my god!
Arthur McCanty does not want to stop this fight.
Holy crap!
Oh
my god, and he's down. Shavers is down. He grabs the rope. Oh my god. The way he's walking, it looks like he's out there getting fucked by 14 people. Oh my god. Rope it up for a second, baby.
Good night.
Quarry coming in.
Arthur McCanty trying to get in there and stop the fight. And there's Jerry Quarry.
Waved it off. Shavers had no balance left.
Saying, you know something? We just got us a fight with Joe Frazier.
Is that what Quarry's saying?
Yeah, I think so, bro. In fact, I think that's why Ernie Shavers never got his fight with never got a title fight with Joe Frazier.
It's weird. Didn't Quarry fight Frazier like 3 years before this fight?
Yeah, he fought him earlier, and then he had the title fight.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You got me.
Well, bro, I mean the thing with Quarry, 2 times with Floyd Patterson, 2 times with Joe Frazier, 2 times with Muhammad Ali. Who the fuck does that?
Jerry Quarry.
That's it.
Jerry Quarry. Crazy ass motherfucker. Like the names on his record, win, lose, or draw, it's one of the best records you'll see. Like when you go through that shit and you just like look at the punches there, like Frazier twice, Ron Loyal, Shavers alone. You know, that's scary. Ken
He
Norton.
he beat everybody except the very best, and even then, sometimes he got lucky and like, I mean, he just if if he was born in any other time in any other era, the man would have won gold. Let's
I
see
mean,
here.
something most people like don't give him credit for is he took two huge punchers O's in Ron Loyal and Mac Foster. Mac Foster was a huge puncher, and Jerry Quarry exposed Mac Foster. He exposed him.
Did you
He
know the
took that.
story? Did you know the story behind Mac Foster with Sonny Liston?
No,
Sonny
not
Liston.
exactly.
Well, Sonny Liston's his purse against Chuck Wepner was $3,000, and he bet that on Mac Foster to beat Jerry Quarry, and he lost that. And the mob was sitting at ringside when he fought. When he fought. Oh fuck, man! I just said it.
Quarry,
No, no, no,
Mac Foster.
no. Ali fighting Chuck Wepner. When Sonny Liston fought Chuck Wepner, he had to turn his purse over to the mob because he lost it betting on Mac Foster to beat Jerry Quarry. Jerry Quarry
Okay.
beat Mac Foster. That's just a little thing I heard, behind from the fucking gamblers back then. But it makes a lot of sense. I believe it 100%.
Do you think it might have been a fixed fight?
Bro, anything, man, anything could happen. I didn't have the access. I didn't have the sources back then. I'll tell you, bro. If you were around back then, I think you would have been another Burt Randolph Sugar yourself, bro.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't around back then, to be honest, because then I'd be old.
Yeah, but you would have lived today, man. The way things are, you don't even know if you're gonna be living anymore.
Ah, I'm
Or
happy.
the quality. When those nukes start coming over freaking Scotland and start heading towards Ireland, look out, baby.
I'm fine, bro. I'll just go. I'll just go to the Guinness factory. Ain't nobody gonna attack a brewery.
I hear you, baby. I hear you, man. And
They
with me,
never
man,
go out. Have you noticed they
what?
never attack the breweries? They never attack where the beer is. Like the safest place for me, if the Russians start bombing everywhere in Europe, is to go where the alcohol is. The Russians aren't going to attack alcohol. That's crazy.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Let's get to the beginning of this fight here, man. Here we go.
Whew.
Ron Lyle. I think was Ron Lyle undefeated in this fight when he came in to
He
fight
was. He was 19-0 going into this fight with Jerry Quarry.
another fighter was going to use the Quarry name as a notch on their gun.
This was not an easy out. Jerry Quarry was never really. He was not. They were like, oh yeah, he got stopped in 6-7 or quit against Ali or whatever, right? The reality, as you and I both know, Bruce, is okay. Yeah, you're not good enough for Frazier, Ali. That okay.
Good enough for any
But the truth,
other.
but the truth is, practically everybody else fair game. And if I was managing a prospect in those days, I wouldn't be putting them in there with a dude with a heart that big, with a punch and a chin, who was constantly at you. Like he wasn't as good, but he essentially was a Nino Benvenuti type fighter, or even a Gene Fulmer type fighter. That's what he was kind of like. That's what he tried to fight a bit like as a heavyweight. He wasn't as good as them. But I'm sure you get where I'm coming from. He was dangerous, and he could hurt. If you didn't have an ironclad chin, this fucker would stop you.
But he was an old time fighter, and they all were. They want to fight each other. Like James Toney. He'd fight anybody. He would have fit in great in this era. These guys, it didn't really matter how how tough you actually were. They thought they were tougher, and that was the key, man. Quarry, he wasn't going to be a champion unless he beat Frazier, he beat Ali, and bro, George Foreman. I heard George Foreman out of his own mouth say he ducked fucking Jerry Quarry.
Don't blame him.
Said that he didn't want to go near that counter puncher. He said if there's one fighter that I ducked, it was Jerry Quarry.
Look at this right here, Quarry against Lyle. Like Ron Lyle, I'm sure most of the people who are watching your channel will know, Bruce, like, because they watch the fights and all, right? But Ron Lyle was a thunderous puncher. One of the biggest heavy, like, he doesn't get that, like, people say, oh yeah, he was a big puncher, but he doesn't get the credit he deserves of being one of the all-time big punchers at heavyweight. He hit like an absolute train. Every punch he hit you with was powerful. His jab when he stepped into it, his right hand, his left hook, his uppercut, everything was a bomb. And Quarry, he's not as powerful. He is not even as skilled as Ron Lyle is. But
Lyle, he took the punches of Ernie Shavers, got off his ass. I mean,
absolutely.
These were fucking gladiators, bro.
How many times did he get off the canvas against George Foreman?
The fucking elevator fight. And bro, Ron Lyle, his background was fucking prison for murder, was shooting at his fucking wife, was pulling people over on his car and beating them up. I mean, the guy was a fucking today. He's lucky if he'd walk around a free man. He was a fucking animal. Outside of the ring, I can only imagine what he was inside of the ring, bro. He didn't like anybody. Someone told me they met him in Colorado a few years back when he was alive, and they said he was still cold. They shook his hand, and his eyes. You know how you can tell a stone cold killer? He said this man was stone cold, bro. Fucking shout out to Ron Lyle.
Ron Lyle was an absolute weapon. He's actually one of my all-time favorites to watch fight because he brings action every time, Bruce. Win or lose, it's just raw action. Ron Lyle has to be one of the easiest people to watch ever, absolutely ever.
And look at these guys going toe to toe over here. They're both exchanging bombs.
Absolutely.
Especially freaking Quarry, man. He is really doing a job on Ron Lyle. Inside and outside. He just has the faster hands, and it's really, really giving Ron Lyle a lot of trouble.
Whew. It's great pocket for. Oh, that was. See that step off left hook? You love to see it, don't you, Bruce?
I see it. Oh, right there. Oh! That was a Joe Frazier left hook there, bro. That was what you call a check left hook, man. Nobody. And Jerry Quarry was. There were fighters that he just looked perfect against, and Ron Lyle was one of them. Made for him, just suited his style so well. And Ron Lyle was a fierce puncher, but Quarry could take those punches.
If Quarry was able to take your power, you were in trouble. If he could take your power long enough and started to wear you down, that was it. Once he started to wear you down, you were done.
Well, one of the biggest knocks on him was too that he ran out of gas. Quarry was accused of that many times. And what was the fight? I think it was the fight with Floyd Patterson, where Howard Cosell, I didn't run out of gas, you see? I'm not even breathing hard after, I think it was 15 rounds or possibly 12. But that was a big knock on him in his career. Because you know what an ideal training session for Jerry Quarry was? Shaving a haircut. That's the way he treated boxing, bro. He didn't fucking train like he sparred no helmet. He was a unfortunate. The way that he ended up, we're gonna get into that too, man. Because
I'm looking at this fight here. And
Oh,
look at this. Down, up, down, down, up. Oh,
and look at the punches that Quarry's taking in return too. He's
but
getting battered with
they're
uppercuts.
normally in singles. A lot of them are in singles because Loyal is tired.
Mm,
And if you see it, like with his left arm, he's no longer able. He's not shifting through on his left arm, so he's throwing arm punches. You can see that he's exhausted
okay,
with his left arm. It's an arm punch now.
but
See, even the way he's
Quarry
lifting it.
surprisingly revigorated.
That's the thing. When he felt he was having success,
End of the
he would.
fight.
There we go. I'm
Easy,
noticing
easy
that
decision, man. I think Ron Lyle might have won 3 rounds in this fight. Unanimous.
very fun fight actually.
Cute,
There's a
cute and
lot of
tight
action in it.
out, man. I didn't see him leave. I think he might have had some trouble with his internet. Q, if you want to come back in here, bro, there's the link. We're gonna watch one of the saddest videos that I've seen in a while. But if I can dig that up, man, this one I'm gonna actually shut my sound off on this one so we can listen to it.
Ooh.
This is and this is a very important video too here, man. Let me cut that down here. Put this one on here. Get this one up here. Oop.
And for all you fight fans today, it's very important to watch these guys and guys like Jerry Quarry because we don't have many of the heart-filled contender gatekeeper types. The ones who could give the champions or the close to champions really fun and exciting fights, or the ones who could find out if a prospect was worth his salt or not. We don't have a whole load of them in today's boxing, especially a heavyweight. So watching guys like this, it gives you a feel for just how difficult that division was. And you're seeing guys who you've seen fight with other legends, like you just seen Ron Lyle lose to Jerry Quarry. And I'm sure all of you have seen that fight between Ron Lyle and George. One of the greatest, most exhilarating fights you'll ever see, as Bruce calls it, and as many call it, the elevator fight, because both men are up and down the entire fucking time. Whoop doom, whoop down, getting dropped left, right, and center. So it's important to pay our respect.
And Ron Lyle's fight just before that was with Ernie Shavers, and that was an elevator fight too in its own right. That was an awesome fight.
It was. Not only that, it has one of the most brutal and most unnecessary knockouts in boxing ever. That was so unnecessary from the ref. He let Loyalty off on Shavers, I think, for 11 or 12 extra punches after he'd already been knocked out on his feet.
Yeah.
Was it, Bruce? 11 or 12?
All I know, it was brutal. We see it quite often in the heavyweight division. It's almost like the referees want to see the fight continue, like we saw Ernie Shavers with Ken Norton and Ken Norton with Jerry Quarry. There's always those, because their punches are just so devastating, single shots. But when they unload a combination, when it's unnecessary to an unprotected skull, and that unfortunately is what happened to Jerry Quarry. You know, this right here is, if anybody has never seen what happened to Jerry Quarry, because I didn't know myself until the past few years how tragically, and this is what happens when when you take too many punches to the head, man. This is CTE. This is boxing dementia. This is when.
Oh no, you're not gonna show this, are you?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. We're gonna show this, man. And this is called, anyone who seriously considered being a boxer should see Jerry Quarry. But that's really not that's really not what this is about. This is really this is the way Jerry Quarry left this world, bro. And he was only 52 years old. And shit, man,
This is what can happen to these modern day and post gladiators, past
Well, see,
previous gladiators.
I think fighters like Joe Joyce know this, and that's why they don't fight as frequently, man. I just don't think they want to end up like this. Not only uh, mentally in trouble, but financially too, because Jerry Quarry, he was getting an SSI check of about $600 a month. He was living with his. Well, let's watch this. This is really good, man. I was this should be seen.
Leaving scars that may never heal. But as you're about to see, not all the victims are outside the arena.
Jerry Quarry first put on the gloves when he was 3 years old. By the time he was 8, Boxing Illustrated named Jerry the most popular professional boxer in the world. In 1968, 1995 inductee, heavyweight contender.
At the World Boxing Hall of Fame dinner, fans have come to honor one of the all-time greats,
Jerry Quarry.
You remember Jerry Quarry. The only man to take on Muhammad Ali twice. And Joe Frazier twice. It's all over. Sure, he lost the big fights. But back then, he was a contender.
The guy is one of a kind, he really is.
Jerry Quarry gave his heart to boxing, but he also gave his mind. This is Jerry Quarry today. How do you feel these days, Jerry?
I feel teaching myself, but it's a little old,
You feel old?
I feel like an old man.
Jerry is only 50 years old. He lives with his brother James.
He loves Coca-Cola.
Because he can't take care of himself anymore.
Ice cream. The old name is called the punch-drunk fighter.
The medical name for it is dementia pugilistica, and it's the price many young fighters pay for years of doing this. He's simply taking too many shots to the head.
It wasn't any one particular fight. It was a combination of over the years of taking punches to the head.
Imagine 2 decades of your head being knocked around with this kind of force. And you can understand why Jerry Quarry can barely remember the biggest moments of his life. You remember what they called you?
I don't remember that.
The Great White Hope.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Irish Jerry Quarry. He still has a couple of moves. That's it. I quit. But he's living in a world of his own.
Jerry Quarry's not new. Jerry Quarry's the latest in a series.
New York sports columnist Phil Mushnick says there are Jerry Quarrys in every sport today.
We're getting 29-year-old professional ball players who are leaving the game because they sustained so many shots to the head. This is football. There are rules against getting hit in the head. Why aren't these rules being enforced? It's because violence sells.
What is it about watching violence? I mean, we could watch a game of skill.
I can't. I'm a hockey fan. I don't think I've ever turned my head away from the TV set during a hockey fight. I think it's part of the human condition, and it's part of the human condition that marketeers of boxing and football and basketball know how to exploit to the fullest. Most sports fans, no matter what it is, feature violence. We celebrate violence. They want blood. They want blood.
The referee has full contact. He heard some boos from
Are you see what we're doing?
Back home in California, Jerry Quarry is getting ready for his big night.
Do you know what's going on tonight? You're being inducted to the World Boxing Hall of Fame. He gets an hour, he forgets how to eat. He forgets how to put on his shoes. He forgets how to comb his hair. He forgets how to take a shower and shave. We have to do this ourselves for him.
But I want to do a lot of it too.
Yeah.
$1 billion in lifetime earnings squandered. No health insurance. So how does he support himself?
Jerry is on SSI at $614 a month, and I supplement the rest of it. Tonight's your night, buddy. We wish that Jerry could appreciate his life at 50, and we knew he would have if he didn't have this affliction.
But tonight, at least, he'll have the appreciation of his fans.
Q-U-A-R-R-Y-Q.
Okay, Jerry.
The Q. Draw a circle and a line through it, remember?
What does that do about us? Because we care about this guy as a sports hero, and to let him end up like this.
Who says we cared about him? We may say, gee, I really like Jerry Quarry, whatever happened to him, but who really cared about him? We cared about him for the moment he was here.
Finally, the moment of the evening.
The greatest of the great white hosts, Jerry Quarry.
And James Quarry steps in to help his brother.
We thank you very, very much.
As he always does.
Jerry's very proud. He really doesn't fully understand what is happening to him tonight.
But when we look at a guy like Jerry Quarry, what kind of lesson should we take away from this?
The lesson we can learn is that it's preventable. But who's going to prevent it? As long as people buy the tickets, enjoy the blood, it's going to persist.
We won't let dogs fight. We won't let chicken fight because we care about the animals. But yet we'll let two men get in the ring and beat each other's brains out.
James has set up the Jerry Quarry Foundation to help other fighters in need.
When Jerry was on top, number one contender, he helped me out, and this is what family's all about.
Jerry Quarry!
You remember Jerry Quarry. He paid the ultimate price for being a good sport.
I've been in the ring many times, and I've enjoyed every one of them because there's no quit in the game for me.
Yeah, that's almost hard to watch, man. And Jerry Quarry passed away on January 3rd, 1999, and he was only 53 years old. And
It's sad. It is sad.
very sad. He was. It's hard. It's a fact though. Jerry Quarry was found after 5 days. He'd been lost in his own house, in the attic of his house. They were looking for him, and he turned up 5 days later. He was covered in feces, and it was just a terrible spot of reality. But I wanted to share that with you. So we can honor fighters like Jerry Quarry, man. The greatest of the great white hopes, bro. I mean, fucking, the man was. He boxed for 40 years of his for 40 years of his life, and his last fight, bro. His last fight, man. I want to get the names right, so I don't miss it. He fought a guy named Ron Kramer, who it was in Denver, Colorado, at a Holiday Inn. It was at the Aurora, Colorado, and I think he made $1,000 for it. A little over that. He ended up getting beat up. He got his head split open. He got his front teeth knocked out, and man, it kind of. I don't want to say a fitting end to Jerry Quarry's career, bro, but it's reality, and that's what we're all about around here is reality. And this is boxing. This is why boxing is a sport for special individuals.
For that Kramer fight. By that point, he'd already squandered all of his money, hadn't he? He'd been out of the ring for nearly a decade, wasn't it, Bruce? So he needed more money, so he was trying to get back into boxing to make the money back. But
facts, and I saw him. He had that comeback fight in 1977. He fought Lorenzo Zanon. And I remember watching that fight. Zanon was picking him apart. You remember Lorenzo Zanon, Mark, don't you?
I remember. I know bits of him.
He was a stand-up. I think he was from Spain or from Italy. But anyway,
he was an Italiano fighter,
European champion, and
fought Larry Holmes.
Exactly, fought Larry Holmes. He was boxing well with Holmes till Holmes caught him. But anyway, man, he was outboxing Jerry Quarry until Quarry caught him in the final round and stopped him, and that put a false sense of security in the head of Quarry, and he boxed on, but like you said, he retired in '83, and he came back in '92 to fight Kramer, which
because he'd squandered every cent. There was nothing left.
everything. Over 2 million in career, way over 2 million in career earnings gone. Bad business investments, loans to family and friends, living the high life. Because and 3 wives. He was married 3 times. I saw him on I Dream of Jeannie. And anybody from the old
Holy
school.
crap!
Oh yeah.
when you start pulling up I Dream of Jeannie, fucking hell.
Bro, you know how many young boys I Dream of Jeannie convinced that they weren't gay?
Oh my god.
Bro,
Quite a
can
lot,
you imagine rubbing a fucking lamp and having a genie pop out? I mean, that might have been a little Freudian shit
It's
in
not
there.
about being a genie. It's not about being a genie popping out. It's the fact that it was Barbara Eden popping out.
Oh, yeah. She was every young man's dream back in the day. And Jerry Quarry did a guest spot on I Dream of Jeannie. I'll never forget that. I don't remember what he did, who he was, what he said, but I remember Jerry. And in fact, I think his brother Mike was with him too. Another one who died young, who was never the same after getting fucking his head separated off his shoulders from Bob Foster. I was another one who was, once again, the brother. We just saw the brother James there, who took care of Jerry towards the end. He talked about. I saw him on another documentary, and he talked about his brothers. Mike Quarry and Bobby Quarry, I think it was. But all 3 of them went the boxing route, and he, after an amateur career, he knew what was gonna. He knew he didn't want to take those punches to the head, and Mike Quarry, I saw him fight Mike Rossman when Mike Rossman was an up-and-coming light heavyweight. And Mike Rossman went right through him. Mike Quarry, like I said, after that decapitation. And another thing about that, too, a real interesting fact, that was on the co-main event when Jerry Quarry fought Muhammad Ali. And he saw his brother get carried out on a stretcher.
Oh.
And he just went through the motions in the ring, man. Really, that was a terrible showing from Jerry Cooney. But he's one of those guys who would come in, make a fantastic showing, and then come in subpar. But that right there, that kind of would tell you, brothers don't fight on the same card.
Oh no, they should. They definitely shouldn't. They can take your focus off. I mean, your brothers. When the Charlos were doing that, I was always a little bit. I don't know about this, man. I don't know. I think you guys should be on separate cards. I understand, like, you love each other and shit, but we seen didn't Jermel have a I think it was the Maffei horrible fight with Jamal Charlo. I think Jamel had a bad performance. I think it was against Tony Harrison, where he had lost the fight, and then Jamal really underperformed. Really underperformed against
Yeah,
Matt
that would be a trader's nightmare. I think they should know by the history. Well, what we just saw, and I'm sure we're not. That's not the only fight that happened. And I'm sure there's been many occasions. I mean, the mind's trying to get fried here, but they're the two brothers that I think they both fought Sugar Ray Robinson. And they both ended up dementia and in nursing homes. There's been a special about them on going around before. Doyle, possibly. I don't remember the names. I was trying to concentrate on our brother Jerry Cooney tonight. I think we had a good little tribute to Mark. Oh man, thank you, man. I can't believe 9:00 and I'm starting to dementia, bro. I don't take that lightly, man. I don't take anything lightly anymore. I saw my mother-in-law just passed away a week or so ago from she had Alzheimer's, and man, I saw I saw the consequences of when you don't recognize your own children, and you get violent, and man, it's a sad thing, man. That's why I wanted to, I really wanted
Yeah.
to do a little tribute to our brother Jerry Quarry here, man. And
What a great.
I think we did him justice, bro.
He was a great contender. He was a fun, exciting fighter, and it was an absolute pleasure and privilege to watch some of those fights there with you, Bruce. Honestly, I love going down the old memory lane, especially
You know,
with someone who was actually around to have memories of that shit. I grew up like rewatching it. I wasn't around during the time.
I know, bro, man. I sometimes I forget. I forget what a young guy you are, man. Because you seem to you share a lot of these sentiments and a lot of these old fights. I'm talking to you like we sat there passing the Toker two around back in fucking 1970, and then you weren't even a twinkle in the old man's eye back in 1970. So
Or his ball sack.
that's what I'm
Because
saying, bro.
his ball sack in 1973 wasn't even developed.
There you go.
The ball-
There you go.
he,
A
yeah,
lot of you ended up down the fucking toilet or on a fucking Kleenex rag before
he
you
was
became
he was only nine
a
at that
boxer.
stage. He was only nine at that stage.
But anyway, bro, I was going to do this myself because I just wanted to, I wanted to dedicate something to Jerry Quarry. I appreciated watching him fight. And, bro, YouTube is such a beautiful thing now. You can just turn on your channel and, who the fuck cares? I'm going to share it with people. My wife didn't want to hear it. I started talking to her about it. She's like, go do a fucking show on it. Okay. So shout out to fucking Jerry Quarry, bro. I mean, really, shout out to Jerry Quarry. I hope you're happy up there, my brother. In fact, I hope you and Ron Lyle are doing it. Then the next night, you and Joe Frazier get together. Then you go fucking 15 rounds with Ali for old time's sake, bro. I mean, shit, man. Shout out to Ron Lyle. Shout out to Jerry Quarry. Shout out to Jerry Cooney. Shout out to all the fighters out there, bro. Shout out to the fucking heavyweights, man. I love the heavyweights. Mark, anything you want to say before I kick you out of here?
Thanks for having me on, Bruce.
Hey,
Shout out to
bro.
all the
Phil just came in the back door, but he came in too late. I'm about to sign off, but go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know he's back there watching you.
shout out to all of the greats. Shout out to all of the contenders. And I just want to answer one question I got asked earlier in the chat. That's okay. To Carlos Mendoza, the question you asked, Haney is my answer. That's my answer. And it's not who wins in the fight between him and Cambosis. He asked me a different question than that. All right. Take care, Bruce. God bless you.
Hey, brother, thank you so much for stopping by. I was going to do this myself. Q to God stopped up. He disappeared halfway through it. And, man, I saw you come in here. I was so thankful to see you come in here, bro. Man, God bless. Thank you.
God bless. Hit the like, you mooches.
Yeah. Or else I'm going to end up in YouTube limbo over here, man. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, man. Thank you, everybody that came out here tonight and shared this with us. Phil, I see you back there, but I'm leaving. I'm conking out over here. Mother Nature calls. The Toker 2 is dirty. The water glass is almost empty. I still have to put the dog out. I got a ton of things to do. And plus, I haven't went and supported any of my other brothers and sisters out here tonight. Anyway, man, Bruce goes. Thank you so much for coming in here, man. This was for Jerry Quarry, man, the greatest of the great white hopes. He entertained many, many cats my age in their living rooms on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, on a Friday, on a Saturday afternoon, on a Sunday afternoon, man. He was always fighting. He didn't duck anybody. He gave as much as he got. And shout out to the great Jerry Cooney. Peace. Jerry Quarry. Damn. I got some good reefer here, and I'm glad I got that before I went off the air here. So I don't know how to edit, but shout out to the great Jerry Quarry. Peace.